I'm Dave.
I'm Karen.
And we're married to the mod. Today we're going to do a little review for you, but before we get to that, we were going to do a coil build tutorial, and the reason we're not is because Karen is usually a dripper. Doesn't know how to build a coil yet, so I was going to show her and you guys at the same time my method of building a coil. But the little boy RDA that she always uses, the center post, the Delrin or whatever it is piece that keeps it insulated in there actually melted. So when we tore out the coil and the wick, we seen it was melted and that positive or center post actually fell right out of it. So I want to do a build for you guys on something that has a big deck so you can see it. I don't want to do a build on something that's real small and enclosed there and you can't see anything, you know. So there's no little boy on this mod that Karen's using. So what is that?
It's the eLeaf iGIF2, and I'm doing my jams. Space Jam, Starship 1, 6 milligrams. I do find in the tank it is not as fulfilling as in the dripper, probably because it's at 6 milligrams, but I love this juice. It's so good.
Even in the tank it tastes good, or what?
Yeah, I still like the taste in it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm hitting it more than I would on a dripper.
Yeah, you don't get that throat hit with a tank that you do with a dripper or RDA. But anyways, today we're going to do the review on this Jaybo wismec rx200. And before we go any further, I got this from wetvapes.com. I bought it about a week ago, and I was watching Grim Green and Vapin' Heathen, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. And both of them said that this is the best regulated mod of 2015, and I gotta tell you, I probably agree with them. There's not too many cons about it, there's a lot of pros. So we're gonna get down low, show you the ins and outs, show you everything this thing does, and after that we'll get out, we'll tell you what we do like, what we don't like, and then we'll get out of here. So let me catch a vape and we'll drop down low. Alright guys, back with you down low. This is the Jaybo wismec Reuleaux rx200. Comes in this nice case, got a little Reuleaux symbol. wismec.com. Just kind of your normal box. On the back here, it says Reuleaux rx200. This is basically a rundown telling you you're going to use 3 removable 18650 batteries, and because of the 3 batteries, you can get 200 watts out of this. And there is advanced temperature control functions in titanium, nickel, stainless steel modes, and also upgradable firmware. I do have the black version. There is a white version, and I believe they call it Tiffany Blue, but I'm more into the black. So, here's your box. Alright, we open this box up, and there's your mod. And I tell you what, some mod it is. We're going to have a spring-loaded 510 gold-plated pin, and that does sit, there is like a little recess cut out here for a 22 millimeter atomizer. However, there are these little tips here. I believe this is just for airflow underneath your atomizer. Alright, so before we get into this anymore, let me just show you through the unboxing here. We have our Reuleaux quick guide. In this, read it, get to know your mod. I tell you guys this every time, you gotta know it. Like I did say though, this does fire. This will fire titanium, nickel, and stainless steel. And this will go from 100 degrees Celsius to 315 degrees Celsius and 200 degrees Fahrenheit to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And I believe it fires down to 0.05 in temp mode, and your standard resistance in power mode is going to be 0.1. Now, it does fire 1 watt all the way up to 200 watts, and you can do 1 watt all the way up to 200 watts in temperature control mode. When I get into the mod, I'll show you all about that. It's going to show you some functions that the OLED screen is going to say if you're having problems with the mod, your battery low, atomizer low. Imbalance is a pretty cool feature since it does use 3 batteries. If you have more than 0.3 volts off, so if you have a 4.0 volt charge on a battery and a 3.5 volt charge, it's going to say imbalanced and not fire. You need to marry your batteries. Right here, I bought these 3 batteries when I bought this mod. These batteries are going to stay married in this mod the whole time. Never get changed. Alright, so anyways, that's your quick guide for your Reuleaux. In here it just tells you don't use torn batteries. If you're using batteries and you bought a Reuleaux, you should know these things already. Also comes with a USB cable. You can charge through this, and honestly, that's how I do charge this. I leave my batteries in it, I charge them, and it really does charge them good. I haven't noticed any problems. I did upgrade the firmware on this. It starts, when you do get it, it is 1.02 or version 1.02. I upgraded it to 1.07, and that fixed everything, honestly. There was a little bit of problems with the battery lag or sag, whatever it's called. But I noticed since I upgraded it to the new version of firmware on it, everything works good. Alright, so before I open up this battery door, I told you about the 510. There's the Reuleaux symbol on top. It is quite a big mod. Alright, I will give you a size comparison here in a minute. But you have 3 battery vents here on the sides, on each side. Underneath, it's going to tell you it's a Reuleaux rx200, a Reuleaux symbol, and then you have nice battery venting along the bottom here. So your battery door is on the back here. Comes 4 magnets, hold it on. Here's your sled, nice and clean. It does run in series mode, which means that you're going to have a battery going this way with the positive and a battery going this way with the positive. So here's your battery ribbon. Negative, negative on the actual sled here, and the positive one runs up here. The third battery is going to be positive, which I'll show you when I do put these batteries in, which I can go ahead and do right now. So here we go. We're going to do the negative down, or I'm sorry, negative up. And this does have these springy battery catches, which are nice. Something on the DNA 200 from Reuleaux, it had these little plastic rings around the battery connectors here. And it would hold your battery off of the connection, so it would miss the connection, basically. They got rid of that with this, which I'm real happy about. So 2 negatives, and then this is going to be our positive battery. So positive side up, slide that in. Battery door, right on. Little bit of rattle. Buttons very clicky. Real nice and clicky. Alright, so we turn it on. In, right off the bat, let me just show you. It's going to go down to 1 watt. And it's going to go all the way up to 200 watts. And we're there. Alright, I'm going to drop it back down here to about 50. Alright, so there we are, 50 watts. Now, real easy with this. Like I said, it does do temperature control. So right here, it's going to start at power mode, right? Let's click this fire button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And it's going to jump into nickel. You can see NI right here in the top right. You have your ohms, your wattage, and your degrees. And it'll go all the way up to 600. Once it hits 600, you click that up again, and it's going to round robin to Celsius. Goes from 100 to 315 degrees in Celsius. Click it. It's going to drop down to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so you're in nickel here, right? Let's say you want titanium. You're going to click this 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. It's going to jump to TI, titanium, or stainless steel. Let's do that one. 1, 2, 3. And it jumps to stainless steel. And 1, 2, 3. And it'll jump back to power. So let me go ahead. Actually, before I do that, let me go right here. Show when you get into your temp control, it's going to show nickel. All right. Let's say you want to change the wattage, right? So you hit this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the wattage jumps over. And you can run this all the way up to 200 watts. I'll show you that. 200 watts in temperature control mode and all the way down to 1 watt. I don't know who's going to run 200 watts in temperature control mode. Oh, and my mode or my button here does not drop down, as you can see. If you hold it, it just sits there. I guess some versions are like that, not all, but this is something that you have to see in that. Now let me go ahead and throw an atomizer on here real quick. I'll show you how to lock your resistance in, what you're going to want to do on temp control. Go ahead and screw that in. Now it's reading at 0.45, all right? Let's say we want to lock that in. You're going to hit the wattage up button and the fire button at the same time. And you'll see that turns to, the ohm symbol turns to a lock. That's going to lock that resistance. If you want to unlock it, same thing. Now this is just a Canthal build I have in here. So if you try and fire this on temp mode, it's going to fire, but it's going to pop out to wattage. Reads that it's not that it's not nickel and throws it right back to 20 watts, all right? So there's a few things about this that I haven't seen anyone else show in their review. Let me go ahead and show you that. If we shut this device off, 5 clicks off. Now if you press all 3 buttons together and hold them down, you're going to see your battery life and a number. Battery, 4.03, and there's 3 different numbers. The middle number is the 3rd battery, the one closest to the door, and the 2 edge numbers are the 2 batteries right here. What else? Alright, when you turn this on here, if you turn it on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to turn on, I'm going to keep clicking it. And it's going to show you version 1.07. So that's the firmware that's in it. Alright, click that and we jump back out. Now, you can lock this. To lock it, you're going to hold the up and down. And it goes ahead and says locked. To unlock it, same thing. And then you can go ahead and do it. And also stealth is going to be the wattage down button and the fire button. Stealth is on, okay? So when we go ahead and fire it, no screen. Saves battery. And stealth off. Alright, like I did say, it does have this USB. I do charge my batteries through it. A lot of mods, they say don't do that. I do it. It seems to marry these batteries pretty good, and they're all within 0.03 of each other pretty much when it's charged fully. Just an all-around great mod. We're going to go ahead and, I told you I'd do a size comparison. Let me go ahead and, all I got right here is the IPV D3. I don't have the exact measurements on this, but as you can see here, let me take this atomizer off. You can see here it's going to be just barely bigger, taller than the IPv-D3. The big difference is in width. You can see it's about 2 of them almost, but it does fit your hand very nice. It contours to your hand really nice. And the width of it, a little bit wider, than the IPv-D3. Alright, so why don't we go ahead and jump back out there to normal view, tell you what I do like, what I don't like, some things I went through with it, and go ahead and get you out of here after that. Alright, so we're back with you up here. All in all, really good mod. I gotta tell you something that happened to me. I had this mod for 1 day when I originally ordered it. It fell about 6 inches, like this, and it fell, normal just drop 6 inches or so, and it fell onto like hardwood flooring. And what that did was screw up the whole chip. I had to send this back in, and they sent me a new one. I had to wait longer, but other than that, it wasn't really a big deal. This chip that I have in this one now, that I've had for about a week, is working really good. Don't have any problems with it. But other than that, that's my only con about this machine, is it is able to break, and I have done it. Other than that, the pros, the battery life is great. You got those 3 18650s in there, so it's going to last you all day long. The 200 watts is nice. I usually don't go above 60, which means that I'm going to get plenty of battery out of this. And the whole building in wattage mode down to 0.1, whereas most mods are doing 0.15, is really nice for me as well. I like building the lower wattage or the lower resistance builds. So besides the whole little hiccup I had